Stimulus checks are on the way. Yes, it is confirmed. Several things are happening for the American people. Joe Biden's promise of the $2,000 stimulus check. Do you guys remember when he promised to send out some stimulus checks? He said that he literally wanted to make sure that you guys were taken care of. And guess what? The U.S. government has fallen in with them. Stimulus check 2024. Will the U.S. government send extra payments? There are actually talks of the federal government that will distribute a fourth stimulus check to citizens in 2024. Several people are wondering, when are we going to get it? What's the most updated news? And literally, they're talking about it's been circulating. People have been talking about it. And that's what led them to understand that there's going to be a move with the U.S. lawmakers to send out a fourth stimulus checks. You know, it seems every year that there has been some discussion about whether or not a round of stimulus checks might come. And this is largely despite the $476 million payments valued at $814 billion that are going out. Because here's the thing, folks are still struggling, but the federal government literally has to determine whether or not they're going to consider making this happen for every single American that is in need. Now, when you look at Joe Biden's promise to send out $2,000 stimulus checks, many of you guys saw that. Joe Biden also promised to absorb 2 million asylum seekers in a heartbeat when he first got elected. But now he's facing an immigration crisis. So the promise to not only absorb the 2 million asylum seekers, but there again, he's also promised to send out stimulus checks. So I ask you guys down in the comments below, let me know, what should Joe Biden do when it comes to sending out checks? Checks are on the way. We read that last night. Several states, several are getting a stimulus check on when? March the 29th. And if you don't get it, they said there may be some time duration for your state regulations to get the amount they're going to send and when they're going to release it. So you may be one of the lucky few that gets a stimulus check March 29th. But how many of you guys would comment down in below? And I'm going to start a poll real fast. What should Joe Biden put money to? This is going to be a very tricky one, okay? Our border security, immigration crisis, or send out stimulus checks? Let us know in the comments down below, because again, guys, we understand more than anybody that even the U.S. federal government knows how the inflation has affected the American people, specifically our senior citizens, elderly, those on a fixed income. So what should Joe Biden do? He's got two promises out there. Promise to send out stimulus checks, promise to take care of the immigration crisis, border security, help those 2 million asylum seekers. And again, we understand we're here to help people. We want to make sure people get in right, but at the same time, at what cost? At what cost is it to the American people? And again, I know that many of you guys are on board with sending out stimulus checks, and this is where we come in to tell you guys about the Internal Revenue Service that verified in November that they're literally talking about stimulus checks. It's been on the table. What are we going to do for the American people? Now, most likely, stimulus checks, you know, they're definitely something that is going to happen, and it's literally depending on, of course, some stipulations, who's eligible, stimulus check update, who's eligible for your March payments. And, you know, while the federal government has sent out stimulus payments, there's more payments heading to millions of Americans this month. The Veteran Affairs benefit goes out on both March 1st and April 1st for February and March because of this year's 3.2% cost of living adjustments. So beneficiaries can expect a payment of up to $3,600. This year's increase is aimed at helping veterans keep up with rising prices for consumer goods and expenses influenced by inflation and other economic factors, which, lo and behold, it's affected more than just our veterans, but senior citizens, elderly, even low income beneficiaries. I mean, guys, it's hit everybody. Again, as many veterans face unique challenges in adjusting to civilian life and finding employment that accommodates their disabilities, the checks are aimed to support them in affording basic necessities and managing long-term health care costs. From increased medical care to special nutritional needs, the reality for many veterans is an expensive one that was only made more difficult due to inflation. And this is where many people disagree with how our country is being run, because they said we should have been back to normal by now. That is why Joe Biden pushed the Inflation Reduction Act to try and help cope with this inflation, try to bring it down, interest rates, all these daily costs of expenses. And this is where we've really got to look at the November things that are happening, because this is going to be detrimental to how our nation moves forward. Now, several of you guys, you've already got your mind made up. You know who you're voting for, but there are still many people that are saying, I don't know who to choose. Should we go Joe Biden or should we go somebody else? The IRS has tuned in that stimulus checks releasing in March 2024, that the list of states paying their citizens. And this is where a lot of you guys are definitely tuned in to figure out, okay, there's a lot of information out there about stimulus checks. There's a lot of news out there, and we're trying to cover everything from the stimulus checks going out by individual states, the federal government tuning in to send them out, the IRS having a hand in it. So the stimulus check was, of course, something that helped out during the pandemic, and the United States federal government tried to make life a little bit easier due to the pandemic. But along with the federal government, this is where really things kind of took place. State governments made multiple announcements on the surplus budget that they received to help their American citizens. And they've also provided several financial aids in the form of stimulus checks. And now that it's not really the biggest conference thing talked about, there are still states that will send their checks out to their American people to help out financially because of their surplus budget. And this allows them, that with this overflow of money, to provide you with some help financially. States like Alabama has been on the list. Arizona has been on the list. Virginia has been on the list and continues to be on the list. Anywhere from $200 to $400 is the average for all of these individual states. Again, I don't think it should be just one state here, one state there. I think every single state should help their American citizens out, because, again, remember, people like Danny in Florida, there's a lot of people that are literally wondering, what are the stipulations when it comes to stimulus checks, and who's eligible, and how much are we going to get? Because every state should be sending something out, especially to our fixed income beneficiaries, senior citizens. You and I both know that times are difficult and that they need your help. So the Biden administration is saving what I believe the best is for last. Because remember, Trump has come in and taken a lot of things by storm. There's a lot of different candidates that don't even stand a chance when it comes to this new presidential election. So the only thing the Biden administration can do is offer the American people something that they really, really need. With high inflation, high cost of living, what else could the American people need, use, have? It's a stimulus check. So definitely, guys, he told everybody, if you select me for president, I'll send out those $2,000 stimulus checks. And where are those checks now? So if we look at our poll here, out of 38 votes, 11% said we need to focus and put money to our border security and immigration. 89% of you guys said send out stimulus checks. This is why stimulus checks is such a touchy subject, is because everyday American people are struggling. And the president promised $2,000 stimulus checks. You might have voted for him. And where are they at? Guys, you've been a great audience. We want to come on here and let you know some information that literally just come out, keep you updated on what's going on. The immigration crisis that's been going on, Joe Biden has promised the 2 million asylum seekers to allow them to come in, and it just seems like now immigration is out of control. There are several states being flooded, and now they don't know what to do with it. Guys, I wish I could tell you that Joe Biden was fix it and make things better, but I don't see anything getting better. I see things getting worse. And I know that you and I can agree to disagree, but I don't feel like our gas prices should be where they're at. I don't think our immigration should be this out of control. And I don't think our border should have been open. I don't think uh, we should provide so much. I think they said $6,000, $7,000 credit towards an electric car. So if you buy an electric car that's 44,000, they're going to automatically give you a $7,000 credit. So now you just took 7 off 44. And why don't they put that towards people that need a new vehicle? Or if you buy a new car, you'll get 7,000 off. That's just to help you. And they're pushing for green, and they're pushing for all this. Why don't we do what we need to do and help American people? I think that would be better than trying to push green and eco-friendly, because at the same time, with the amount of cars that are on the road that use fuel, there's no possible way that in 6 years they'll be eliminated. There's no possible way. Some of you guys were like, I'll never drive an electric vehicle. I'll never own one. I won't purchase one. And they're saying, Joe Biden is saying that by 2030, almost every car on the road will be electric. And guys, I'm sorry. I got my truck. I love my truck, and I don't see me ever trading it in for an electric car. Guys, you've been great. Thank you so much for taking the time to vote. Don't forget to like and subscribe for your chance to win $100. Listen, could you use $100? Yes, a lot of people can. All you got to do is like and subscribe for your chance to win. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos to come, and we'll see you in the next one.